Okay guys, welcome to Toronto lockdown protest, Queen's Park, 13th of June 2020. Had unbelievable problems trying to go live. I started about 10 live streams, none of them would work, so here we are, recording as though we were live.
That we are the boss. So once again, my name is Kellyanne Wolf. I am the acting liaison for Fearless Ontario. And without further ado, I am going to get our first speaker up here. Vlad, will you please come up and take the microphone? Awesome. So everybody, a warm welcome for Vlad.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta do this again. How's everybody doing? Okay, great. We're gonna practice what we started last week. We're gonna say yes or yes, and everybody's gonna say yes. Yes or yes? Yes! Okay, great. So this is our 8th Saturday. Extremely happy to be here with my family. This is really a family at this point. Yes or yes? Yes! Exactly. You know, considering that we're not supposed to be here, and we're here anyway, because we really know what's happening out there in terms of the data, the real data is coming out. I mean, it's hard to keep track how much breaking news happening, and then they try to retract it later. But we already know. If you haven't heard already, World Health Organization, one of the main doctors actually made a statement early this week saying there is no transmission between healthy people. They call them asymptomatic, but we're gonna call them healthy people, right? So, and unfortunately, because she got backlash from the World Health Organization, because the whole world said like, stop, wait, what do you mean? There's no transmission between healthy people? So what on earth have we been doing for the last 3 months, right? Yes or yes? Yes! Exactly. And because of the backlash from World Health Organization, she had to retract it, saying, well, you know, I didn't really mean it, I make a mistake, this and that. But again, at least she had the nerve to say it to begin with. So for people that were still hesitant, they were not really clear. I know most of the people here know this from before anyway, but as we know, a lot of people still confused with so much misleading information coming from the government and so-called experts. So I understand people being confused, people being scared, and it's unfortunate, right? So we have to have some compassion for people like that, for sure. Do your best, you know, not to get too confrontational. My always recommendation is the best strategy is to plant the seed of doubt. Just help them to make a pause and at least question what's really taking place, right? That's much better approach than to get confrontational. And I get it. It's very emotional for a lot of people. A lot of people stressed, you know, being locked up in a house. Some people literally have not left the house in 3 months. Like, that's unfortunate. And I blame the government and so-called expert for horrendous medical quotation mark advice that they're giving to those people, because those people are so scared they don't want to leave the house. They are afraid to be with other people. So again, have some compassion. People are stressed for sure, but at the same time, it's our responsibility to educate, because if so-called experts not going to do their job, it's up to us to do the job of making sure that people know what's really taking place. Yeah. Yes or yes? Yeah. Exactly. So besides the World Health Organization making that statement, it's important to know there's actually a lot of studies coming out now outside of Canada, and we're going to use it until we have something like that in Canada. There was a study done in France with a child that was actually infected, tested positive for COVID, and he was exposed to over 112 different people and children, and not a single person got infected from the child. So, like, that's the real data. And then even this morning, I was watching the healthy debate between Dr. Davila and previous medical expert for Ontario. I forgot his name right now, Hisham. Anyway, they were talking about, and Davila to this day says, you know, there's no real data to show that, you know, there's no transmission. There is a data showing there's clinical study was done with over 400 people infected, tested positive. Not a single person got affected, infected with the virus. There's this study from France with a child. There's actually a study from China. You know, whichever question or not question the data, there's a study from China that out of 7,500 people, only one person supposedly got infected with the virus. So there's really no transmission that taking place, and they still not allowing us to be in public. As you know, they allowed us to make a bubbles or circles or whatever. Like, it's hard to keep track with all this BS terminology been trying to impose on us. But Ford said yesterday that now we're allowed to hug our loved ones. Like, what a joke this is. Like, they're really treating us as not even as children. They're gonna allow or not allow us to hug other people. Like, it's ridiculous what's taking place. Again, we've been coming here. This is our 8th Saturday. Hug, yes. Woo! Thank you. We actually have a lot of nurses. We have a lot of dietitians here. Give it up for actual, yes. We have dentists, we have nurses, we have dietitians, we have real health experts here in the crowd, because we know the truth. These people know what's really taking the place. So, and as you know, even CBC, like, considering how government propaganda that establishment is, they actually published an article saying that how come Doug Ford haven't released the names of the experts that making this recommendation? And he said, well, we have these experts, this and that. Like, I want to see them. I want to talk to them. I want to ask them questions, or at least having our experts asking those people questions. And he haven't released it. It's total BS, for sure. So the other thing I was going to say is, so like, we've been coming here for 8 weeks, right? Everyone's healthy, everybody's well. The transmission, again, as I just discussed, many clinical studies are happening, and I'm hoping a lot more will be coming out as well, showing that we can be outside, we must be outside, we need to hug other people, we have a healthy immune system, and everything that the government is doing is to suppress, unfortunately, the healthy immune system of people, and that's something that we have to be very, very alert and reject and stand on our ground, that I know how to take care of my body. I don't go to the doctors on a regular basis because I am a healthy person, and I do every single day everything to take care of my own health. And I'm not going to take one expert advice, quotation, big quotation marks, expert advice, telling me that I need to stay away from people, I'm not allowed to hug people, I need to wear the mask in public all the time. It's ridiculous. Like, the hug of a mask is done on purpose, because not just that we don't want to wear the mask, we need to hug other people, we need to be in social gatherings with other people. Before all this happened, there was a study based on blue zones. If you don't know what's a blue zone is where people live well over 100 years old. Now, do you know what was the main, I really want everyone to go back. If would be one thing, you guys all go back to your family and friends and give them one piece of information. The one main characteristic between all those zones that people lived healthy lifestyle well over 100 years old was social connections with other people. Social connections with other people. And they are taken away from us. By they, I mean the government. They are disturbing our social gatherings. Because you know how you can combat the masses of people? You separate them. And that's exactly what we're doing, because then we are in numbers, we are strong, we are healthy, and we can oppose those regulations. But then we're not allowed to come together, we're not allowed to have sports gatherings, we're not allowed to have sports activities. Anything that elevates our health, our energy, and our positivity, it's been forbidden for the last 3 months. How does that make any sense if they want us to be healthy? How does that make any sense?
Tyranny.
No, like, it's ridiculous. Like, I come here and I just talk because it's emotional and you're speechless sometimes, but I do my best to keep track. So we have these flyers, guys, here again to defy the masks. The mask is becoming a real serious issue, because if you haven't heard, Mayor Tory now gonna mandate masks mandatory in transit in Toronto. We have to really defy this. So Mayor Tory said they're gonna make mandatory masks from July 2nd. That's the real information. Some people sending me something about $3,000 fine and masks already. No. So from July 2nd in Toronto, the masks in transit will be mandatory. Now, Tory said they're not gonna focus on enforcement. They're gonna focus on education. So we're gonna focus on our education. Yes or yes?
That's right.
So we have these flyers here today. We're gonna finish the box. I'm gonna order more, so we have more of these flyers. We're gonna be back here on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you don't get a flyer today, come back here Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. We'll have more of these flyers. It's a double-sided flyer. The first one talks about if I have a health condition, I'm not wearing a mask, and you're not supposed to ask me a question. That's number one thing. In the back, it actually educates people to learn about the mask. So our idea is to flood the city with these flyers.
Yeah.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
We're gonna defy this. And if you're outside of Toronto, in Guelph, unfortunately, they're really pushing hard with masks as well. So if you are from that area, you know, Niagara, everywhere, because this is what we're doing. The government, they understand there's a Charter of Rights and Freedom. Now, for you guys to again have education, understand Charter of Rights and Freedom, unfortunately for us, only can be fought against in protection if we're in public and government properties. The business can't make their own regulations. That's why the government is strongly recommending the businesses to enforce the masks, right? Now, again, it's our responsibility to fight that, not just by coding the places, because if you just don't go to shop 1, you're not going to be able to go to shop 2 in 1 later, because they'll have to go along with it. So for us, it's important to at least make an effort to defy that. So when you go to the store and they're saying you have to wear the mask, just show them this. Don't get confrontational. Just show them the flyer, let them read it. You know, hopefully it will go well. If not, just turn it around, please. This is why I'm not going to wear it, okay? And hopefully you'll be able to enter. And if not, then you leave the store. But at least you got to make attempt and effort to defy. The civil disobedience is one of the only tools that we have to combat all of this stuff. Yes or yes? All right. The last thing I'm going to say before I bring Kelly back. Yeah, please take.
Say no to the mask.
So this is a petition that's going to be submitted on Tuesday at 10 a.m. to the legislature in Ontario. We have them. We have 2 people by the Fearless tent set up, Fearless campground, whatever set up. So it has to be filled up in full. We have an online version, which is great. We need those names and numbers too, but only physical one will be submitted on Tuesday morning. So thank you for everyone filling this online, but we must fill out this in person today, okay? And if for whatever reason you're not here, or other people who would like to fill this out, please come 9:30 on Tuesday morning. We'll be here Tuesday morning at 9:30. So whoever doesn't have a chance or wants to fill this out, 9:30 on Tuesday morning we'll be here, because we'll submit it at 10 o'clock. So if anyone wants to make an effort and tell more people, because the most signatures we have, full information filled out, that's going to go to this building right here, and they have to examine it, and they have to look at it, and that's part of what we can do. When people come to me and say, what can I do? This is one real action that every single person around GTA can do. Yes or yes? Yes! Thank you. And then the last thing, we have a lot of water donated today by Chris Sky at our Fearless Ontario campground. Give it up for Chris. So every single person, please go ahead and grab a water for you after the speeches. And let me bring Kelly back. Thank you. Stay healthy. Love you all.
Every single one of us here is proud of our history, proud of our culture, and they brought us to this land, when they took home to my native brothers. Remember where you are. Remember who you are, because injustice for one of us is injustice for all of us. And we are here to make a change. We are here to make a change, and we are here to stand up because there is a future of this nation, this city, this country. It is the best country on the planet of the earth. I have support Black Lives Matter. And in doing so, I can't breathe. 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 Please let me hear everybody cheer. Come on. We have a place to change. If we see something's wrong, we have to make a change. Not all our police officers are bad, but we do have to bring those that are held accountable. We have to bring them to justice. And it's not right. It's not right when you get away with taking somebody's life. Your duty is to serve and to protect us. We pay our taxes. We do everything to support our country, to support the government that is here. But how long can this go on? How long can we remain in this system and in this estate? We do have to do what we have to do to end racism everywhere. But first we have to end the injustice right here and right now. It takes time right now. We can't wait till tomorrow. So I thank each and every one of you for coming out today. This is a Saturday, but I know you're not here shopping because this game means more than just shopping. It means more.
What's wrong? Something isn't right. I feel I belong in the light. Passion has gone and love's taken flight. Things just feel heavy tonight. I'm tasting no tears, not fighting no fears, but still there's a hole in my heart. Not on my own, but I feel it sometimes. Wondering what should I do? For reasons unknown, I don't need to decide. It's true that I don't have a clue. I'm tasting no tears, not fighting no fears, but still there's a hole in my heart. I'm wasting no time, I'm losing my mind, here till the day depart. Don't know what's wrong, something isn't right. I feel I belong in the light. Passion has gone and love's taken flight. Things just feel heavy tonight. Just feel heavy tonight.
No!
How was that?
It was actually really good. I had to pull out the couple times.
Really?
People, yeah. Yeah.
You got a little bit ghetto.
Yeah. You know what? What's that? Medina. Medina?
These guys?
Yeah, and the other girl. They saw the video of when I told that guy off in Kensington Market.
Really?
Yeah, she was telling me. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You saw the video. He's the one who recorded it.
Which
Of
one?
me telling that guy off in Kensington Market.
Oh, right.
That was him that recorded it.
Oh, that's great. Good
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes.
Yep, that was me.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. What is the link again? Where do I type in again? I want to watch it.
Of my
I got so
channel?
much.
Yeah.
My channel's the Thrift Store Prepper. Thrift Store Prepper.
Thrift store prep?
Hang on, you.
Thrift store prepper.
I got pen and paper somewhere. You can write it
Oh, yeah.
down.
No, wait. It's all-
I'm actually
I got a book.
Oh, okay.
Did you record any of the BLM stuff?
Yeah, I got it. My live stream kept cutting out today, so I've kind of reduced myself to just recording. I don't know what was going on, if they were blocking the data signals or something, but you know what?